Why do you think that you have the right to silence me?
I always said that I don't want to be heard, I want to be felt. I don't want to make my mark, I want to make my dent.
I didn't realize at the time that I was actually one of the biggest activists and largest organizers of white nationalism and alt-right in the United States.
They are what is considered by most people sort of your button-up white supremacists, your suit and tie Nazis.
Arguably, what they spew, and while it's hateful and deplorable, is political speech, and so therefore it's protected under the Constitution.
Pat, why are you letting the fascists down here? You've got us blocked off, but you're letting the fascists come and harass us? We want them out of here now, damn it, or we're coming over the fucking barrier!
I can't walk in fear, and we don't walk in fear, you know. And I thank God for that.
Honestly, I wanted to make sure that when I left this earth, there would be something left behind that was worth a damn.
Are you accusing me of being a white supremacist?
I'm accusing you of being a racist, yes I am.
Okay.
Don't start anything with me, boy.
Boy?
You're Lamont Jackson, aren't you?
Jackson? Jenkins.
Lamont Jenkins.
My name is Lamont Jenkins, the founder and Executive Director of One People's Project, an anti-fascist organization, Antifa for short, based in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And for 26 years, we have been ruining the lives of bigots across the world. And we can use your help. If you can help us out with donating to onepeoplesproject.com/donate, please do. You can also go to a GoFundMe campaign that we just put up that's dedicated to two persons that we are going to dearly miss and did a whole lot of work for anti-fascism. And we hope that you can see it in your heart to help us take down the things that try to take us down. Remember this, hate has consequences.
Welcome, folks. Christian Perez here from Antifascism O.G. Hoping you're all doing okay out there. This is your anti-fascist news source. We are here, ready to discuss a busy week. I'm here with Daryl Lamont Jenkins. How you doing today, Daryl?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little upset because I lost my tablet, and I'm going to look for it later. So
he's going to find that. He's going to find that, folks. And, of course, as always, we have Beth Foster. How are we doing today, Beth?
Glad to be here. Glad to be here to talk about all the insanity in the world with the two of you.
Yeah, there's a lot going up and down. Now, just before we got on, one of the things we wanted to talk about, because it was funny, and I think we should start off with something that's lighthearted. How about Trump getting booed at that Knicks game, huh?
I don't watch basketball, but I've watched that video over and over and over, and even showed it in a class today.
Oh, man. That was, for a lot of people, I think it was like a cortisone dump. Right. It was like, oh man, it was exactly what we needed. And then they went on to win the next game and come back from a crazy, like a 29 point.
Yeah, yes.
Oh my God, they're 29 points behind, losing it tonight. But yeah, I mean, And we're going to get into some class issues tonight, but it's wild the way they shut down so much around New York City. All the businesses that were ready to make money, all the watch parties that the NBA had canceled, had planned, they had to cancel that stuff just so Trump could fall asleep. I mean, we all saw the memes, we all saw the videos, and if you're living in anything other than like the right wing, BS verse, you saw Trump get booed. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but Sean Hannity on social media posted a clip of Donald Trump getting cheered at the game. So, they are
Yeah,
living in a
yeah,
completely different reality.
yeah. It's definitely the BS verse, because it's like they're trying to say that he wasn't booed. He was. They said it was cheers, and then they tried to say it was a smattering. But the problem is he gets booed everywhere he goes. He
Everywhere.
got and God bless NBC and MS Now, I think they call it now. Um, they did a nice little montage of all the times he had went to events and just got savaged.
Yeah, I mean, no
Savaged.
one wants him there.
No, nobody wants him. He doesn't like us. So I think, and he knew this was going to happen. He knew this was going to happen. So um, I think in many respects he wanted it to, just so he can give people something to talk about other than Epstein. I don't know, and the
Yeah.
war, and the
Yeah.
gossip, and the gas.
I actually heard today that the Americans got booed at the opening of the World Cup. I don't know if
Yeah,
you two saw that. I mean, it's,
Beth just told me about that.
oh my God.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the story. What's the story, Beth?
I'm pulling it up real fast. I saw it on Newsweek.
Yeah, I mean, and this is just like this is Trumpism overseas. This is how Americans see us now. And not that we
Hmm.
were the most loved people before, but Trump has really taken the mask off and he's exposed a large majority of this country for what it really is. And it's tacky and it just turns people off. And this is where we're at now.
So Newsweek says the United States flag was loudly booed as it entered the pitch during the World Cup opening ceremony in Mexico City. The moment unfolded at the very start of a politically charged tournament already marked by tensions involving the U.S. and its co-hosts. And of course, if you've been following the news, there's players, especially players of certain skin colors, referees of certain skin colors that they have not allowed into the country, that have been subjected to extra security and pat downs at airports. Iran had to move the team to Mexico City, I believe, out of Arizona because of just everything that's going on in the world. So yeah, I could see where the booing came about. The Newsweek article says the reaction could shape the atmosphere around the 78 U.S. hosted matches, fan behavior, and the reception of the American players throughout the group stage.
Yeah, and I
What a
think
disaster.
it is, and it's kind of like it's also the thing that we pretty much anticipated once the World Cup started because of what Trump and Stephen Miller and anybody else in that crowd that are Nazis um have been trying to do over the past year and a half, rather year and a half. And I know a lot of groups, however, are still getting ready to come to the aid of any of the players from other countries if ICE or anybody tries to play some games. And I think it's important we have to make sure that we're ready to step up if they pull some stunts. That's all.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest goofs in this, and I can never remember the guy's name, I always forget it, is the guy that runs FIFA. I mean, he's a crook. He's just like everybody else, right? This is the guy who gave Trump his participation trophy,
Yeah.
the FIFA Peace Prize. So congratulations, your FIFA Peace Prize, your first ever FIFA Peace Prize winner is currently bombing children in Iran. There's your FIFA Peace Prize. I mean, I can't conceive of having a country have an international event and then antagonize the people who are coming to that international event. I don't know if you saw, but there was I believe he was a Sudanese referee who had been vetted by the U.S. Embassy, I believe in Kenya, to come to the United States, and then he comes here. They turn him away at the airport. They said just because he had terrorist ties. This is a person who had already been vetted by our government. It's just this is what this country is doing now. It's out in the open.
I wonder what those ties were. I wonder what they were calling ties. I mean, did he see Obama or something while he went out there or something? I don't know. I
Yeah, he's
mean,
literally one of the top FIFA refs in Africa.
yeah. I mean, I think it's I can't wait to see how this ends. I hope I survive long enough, but um I really do want to see how we step up to take this down. I mean, we really have to. Um, you look at the Democrats, they don't seem like they really are stepping up all that much. And I don't expect much happening, especially first of all, I mean, this is one I'm doing an audible right here because I forgot we needed to talk about this. Um, the Democrats put up a Nazi in Maine and to go against Susan Collins. And I mean, they could say it's just a tattoo or whatever, but to give you an idea of how bad um, the Democrats really look at in this, first of all, Collins got it in the bag now. She is going to win her seat. If she doesn't win, then there's just going to be drama after drama for us. But what is his name? Pratlet or Patlet or whatever his name is.
Graham Plattner.
Yeah. All right. Now I apologize once again. My aphasia is keeping me from saying his name. So, but anyway, that guy, they was talking about him last week on CNN, Abby Phillips show. And one of the right wingers on the show brought up the tattoo and said it was a Nazi tattoo. I don't recall the Democrat that responded, but they said that is just a skull and crossbones. It's not a Nazi tattoo. And I was like, why did you do that? It's a Totenkopf. Why did you say that? And it just tells me that the Democrats are not going to be realistic when it comes to this guy. They just gotta champion him no matter what. And my attitude now is just like, this is why we have third parties.
Yeah, he does have the support, I know, of Bernie Sanders and AOC.
And that's
disappointing. Yeah, he has the support. See, this is the thing. I didn't look too much into this case because I see it's tearing people apart. A lot of people on the left I'm not going to defend the tattoo. It's stupid. Like I'm not a person that has tattoos, and I'm the kind of person who, when I see, like, I wouldn't get a tattoo unless it had meaning to me, and I'm not going to put a tattoo that has some questionable Nazi background. So I don't know how he got himself into that position. From what I've heard is that his defenders have stated that he was younger. He's come out and criticized the billionaires. We have to play it by ear. I have mixed feelings on Plattner. I don't like the Nazi thing. It's disappointing that like Democrats are so hard up for leaders that we want somebody who's anti-establishment. We want somebody who's not a corporate liberal. We want somebody who's not a centrist. And the best we could do is a guy with an old Nazi tattoo. So the best we could do is hope that he changed and he's not that person. But corporate Democrats and Republicans who are the actual Nazis are going to be using that against Democrats, the progressive Democrats, left Democrats, whatever the heck you want to call them, or those people who work within the Democratic Party. But it just seems like it's going to be a mess, right? It's Democrats working uphill when they don't have to. And
exactly,
this is where we're at. This is what we have in 2026.
And the thing that really has me going against him so hard is because um I he might be saying the right things now. He might be about the right things now. Um might be is the operative word here, because after dealing with Christian cinema and what's the guy out of West Virginia, what was his name?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. I was thinking John Fetterman in Pennsylvania.
Fetterman, add him to the
Yeah,
list. And
yeah.
what is it?
You're thinking of oh my God, what was his name? Yeah, the from West Virginia.
The governor that became a senator, Manchin.
Yeah, Manchin.
Yeah,
Oh my
Manchin.
God.
And you think about how they didn't just disappoint, but they also, in particular, um, obstruct a lot of things. And then this guy comes along, and my attitude is, I'm not ready for another Mansion in cinema or Fetterman. And I think we need to stop falling into that trap. Um, is he lied? I mean, not lied, but he made his bed and lied, and now he has to lie in it. That's all. That's my
I mean,
attitude.
he did cover it up with like something
After
else, but
after he was
Celtic knot and
called
a
out.
dog, I think.
something what?
I think he had put a Celtic knot and a dog tattoo over it.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean,
Too late.
this
Too
is
late.
where we're at in 2026.
However,
I will say people I respect like him, so I'll give him we will see. Like I don't know.
And that's the same thing too. I mean, there's a lot of people that respect him, but it's also a case of people want the Democrats to take the Senate, but put up better candidates. I mean, seriously, once you started seeing the drama that this guy was bringing, you should have went for somebody else. I mean,
I liken
I
it
don't
to
think he's
being
going to make it.
I liken it to being like at a I'm sorry, Beth, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he didn't actually have the tattoo removed until less than a year ago. Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
After people
Only
started
after he
talking
got
about it.
caught. His former political director said he knew exactly what it meant when he got it.
And that's one of the reasons why I got upset. I want to get that guy's name, who was on Abby Phillips' show on CNN, who tried to say it was just a skull and crossroads, and I was like, no, I mean, I like to remember who he is, so that I don't trust him any further than I can throw him.
But I agree with what Christian's saying. I mean, this is where we are. There is no left in America.
I think it's like American liberals and left liberals and those that want to work within the voting process. I feel like it's like being in a shipwreck and everybody's lost at sea and they're just grabbing onto whatever they can that's floating. And it's Graham Plattner,
tattoo. You'll hold on.
John Fetterman. I mean, Fetterman was saying the right stuff in the beginning, but again, like this is what it is. This is politics, right? You can only go with what you're given, right? Unless you have somebody organic that you can legitimately trust, you can only go with what you're given, and that's the problem. I mean, that's the trap of electoral politics. You get what you get.
And I think one of the things that's really important for us to do to try to combat that is start looking at the kinds of people that the Democrats don't like on our side. Those are the folks that are probably going to push things forward. I was watching.
That's who they're hoping Plattner's going to be. That's who some people.
And
I mean,
he's not. I don't know if he's going to be that. I don't think it's too late.
We really got to see.
But I will tell you one of the things about Adami, for example. And yes, he's going to slip up. I mean, they always do. But
they're politicians. They don't. You know, we all know better.
So, but I was watching. There's a comedian by the name of Josh Johnson that I always watch. And because he seems to be one of those guys that has his finger on the pulse and all of that kind of thing. But he had a line about Mandami that really speaks to where we're at. Um, he says he gets into office, and everybody who has been trying to figure out how to fix the problems in this country or in his city, he provide the analogy of Madame going into office and says, "What's this up? What's this button? Why don't we just press the button?" And what he's basically saying is that we've always had the uh, the solutions to our problems.
Mhm.
We just kept on putting in people who didn't want to employ apply them. And the problem that every Democrat that has gone after Mandami is the fact that they never really wanted to solve the problem.
There it is.
And I think one of the issues, one of the things that we're seeing now, um, is that we're seeing the ESA, the Democrat socialists and the Muslims in particular, um, they're stepping up, they're winning the primaries now, and that's because people want folks to go up and do some work. Never mind the centrists, but we want you to do some work. We elected you to do something, and we don't want to hear any more excuses.
Yeah. I mean, Mamdani, look, he's not a Marxist-Leninist.
No.
He's not an anarchist. He's not going to pick up a gun and start shooting landlords. But if he's going to go after them, if he's going to fix potholes, if he's going to pay people $30 an hour to shovel snow, if he's going to fix schools, if he's gonna what they call the sewer socialism, and by sewer socialism they mean improving everyday working class people's
Right.
lives, right? I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I mean, this country's falling apart. So if we get somebody who's a little better, that's okay. I mean, I hate cliches and I don't like that phrase. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. I try to stay away from cliches, but I mean, look, just go after absentee landlords, make sure people have housing, fix the potholes, and make sure kids have resources in schools. None of this, it's not
Exactly.
rocket science. It's not
It's
rocket
not.
science.
That's what Josh Johnson was saying about why haven't we pressed this button? Theoretically, we should have pressed this button a long time ago.
Yeah.
And the attitude that I think everybody has when you look at how much we have been in the streets over the past 5, 6 years to take on the nonsense that we have been seeing in that time, in the past 10 years, let me just say. Um, it tells you that now we're at the point where we want leadership, elected officials to give out the same energy that we do, when we are in the streets.
Fight back.
Yeah, I mean, we don't
Have some
want
guts.
exactly. And if you can't, we will replace you with us.
Yeah, I mean
You
that's how
know?
politics works, right? And this is like I try to explain to my students that that's really all it is. That's what elections are for.
Mhm.
Elections tell politicians and parties what people want. It's that simple, right? And then when they stink, you get rid of them. They're not your friends. These people
Right.
are there to serve you. I mean, they're not slaves, but like they're there to do what we need them to do. And we don't when they don't do that, kick the bums out.
And
It's
that's
it's it,
and I
it
think
yeah,
this
it's
and I think that's what they're trying to do in this cycle. I mean, now I think we're starting to see people that are coming up and trying to and do something. Um, I mean, this again, I love bringing up Occupy because this is the 15th anniversary in October. It will be the 15th anniversary, and it is in that spirit that we do what we do. And, when you look, they always used to. I keep telling people they always would compare Occupy with um the Tea Party, which was happening around the same time. And th- doing that, we was trying to tell them then that that's not a good analogy. the party, the two Tea parties was basically looking for ways to get elected.
And undermine Obama.
Then there's that, but it's always first and foremost getting to power. And now we call them MAGA. Um, but us, you know, a lot of politicians there that call themselves they were part of the Tea Party. I don't know too many politicians out there, elected officials that say they come out of Occupy, because that's not what Occupy was about. It wasn't trying to getting people elected. We was trying to get people active, and we did that because Black Lives Matter came out of that. Um, the fight for 15 rather. Yeah, I said four. I was going with for 40, but
Yeah.
Sounds appropriate.
um and it was and the frustrating thing about that was a democratic thing. And I was like, and I remember speaking to people when I was speaking with folks, when I brought that up, I says, well, you guys believe in the fight for 15? We'll do it. You guys are the ones sitting in Congress. We still, right now, are still, this is important to point out. Our minimum wage is still at $7.75. We don't know that. We don't notice that because we are taking jobs. We are taking jobs that pay us $20 an hour now, regardless of what the minimum is. We're not looking at that anymore. We want to see 15, we want to see 20, regardless of what the government does. And those are the only jobs that people have been getting, and the only jobs that they have been offering.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the minimum wage, I
we don't
think,
have, yeah.
no, I was going to say if minimum wage were tied to inflation the way it was, I believe it was in the 70s before they cut it. I mean, minimum wage would be somewhere around 25 to $27 an hour now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, and look, it's every hour that you work, you're being stolen. They're stealing money from you, basically. And that's how it works. I try to explain that to my students also, but again, Americans have a hard time sometimes looking at the big picture.
Yeah.
Going back to Mamdani and what he's doing is literally improving material conditions for ordinary Americans. And I feel like that was part of the fight of Occupy too, was that we're going to take back that's what we want to do, the 99%, take care of us instead of giving this money to the billionaires. And then we're seeing this fight play out around the world right now. In Albania, we have the billionaires coming in there and trying. We've got Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump trying to take this area for their affinity partners. It's going to be a multi-billion-dollar luxury resort. And the people of Albania are saying, no, this is, our country's not for sale. It's an ecological threat. The flamingo.
They're calling her Christina Columbus.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, because they're saying that there was nobody on this island and that her and Jarrett, they just found the island, and the Albanians are like, it was a military base. There's bunkers there, right? And it's not just that they want to turn it into their military base, right? Because they're all building these bunkers because they know eventually something's going to happen. But that island also has a number of precious resources on it. And so it's not just going to be, it's going to be our little vacation home, but it's going to be our little vacation home and our mineral mine also. So they're looking to steal resources. And yeah, I mean, so apparently there have been protests there for some time now. And their president, I'm going to butcher this name, Bajram Begaj, the president of Albania, has already slipped up, and he's already been talking about it's going to move forward anyway. And I hope these protests stay going. I hope they keep it I hope they keep it up, and I hope they chase these people out of their country.
And then there's the other flip. There's the flip on that too, because now we go to Belfast.
Yeah.
And the riots that are going on now. For those who don't know, we basically they're anti-immigrant riots in Northern Ireland. and they've been going on for how long now?
Well, there wasn't anything tonight, thankfully, but I believe it was the last two nights. That was the issue. And just to give everybody some background, this is centered around a 30-year-old Sudanese suspect. He was an asylum seeker living in UK in Belfast. His name was Hadi Al-Odid. He's been charged with attempted murder, threatening to kill another person, and possession with a knife. He was obviously deranged, mentally ill. He stabbed an Irishman, Stephen Ogilvy, um, caused him to lose sight in one of his eyes. And now the right wing, the far right paramilitaries in Belfast are using this as a pretext to terrorize and commit acts of collective punishment on communities of color in Belfast.
Also known as a pogrom.
Also known as a pogrom. They're going door to door, throwing rocks, destroying windows, destroying cars. They're going after women and children. They're attacking people in the street, and it is 100% racially motivated.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we need to address um, vis-a-vis Albania and what the billionaires are trying to do there. Um, we got trying to stoke the fires over there. Elon.
Elon Musk, Elon Musk. So if I can really quick, this is something we were discussing before we went on the radio, just so I can give our listeners some background information. Those of us that were paying attention during the initial wave of releases of the Epstein files, you might remember a particular email between Jeffrey Epstein and Peter Thiel, where Jeffrey Epstein made a reference to returning to tribalism, right? And the idea being they wanted to return to tribalism as a counter to globalization because they felt, I think it was the quote was, finding things on their way to collapse was much easier than finding the next bargain. So in a nutshell, you have this Epstein class of individuals. Epstein, who's hopefully done. Peter Thiel, who I think is currently hiding in Argentina. You have Elon Musk, who apparently was not even cool enough to be invited to the Epstein parties, right? You have Elon Musk, who retweeted Tommy Robinson, who Daryl's going to be able to tell us about later, who is a white supremacist from England. And Elon Musk, whether he's in Germany, whether he's in South Africa, whether he's in the United States, whether he's in the United Kingdom, can't seem to stop stoking right-wing fears, spreading right-wing misinformation. And just as we see in Bolivia, as we see, like I said, in Germany, the UK, now we see it happening in Albania, we see the Epstein class all over the world moving from place to place. And it's not a Jewish thing because it's evangelical Christians tied up all in that too. Right. So it's evangelical Christians, some Jewish extremists, and you have a lot of, Muslims in it too. It's not about the religion. It's about the class of these individuals who feel entitled that they can go from country to country, just taking what they want. And I'll leave it with this. One of the few governments that's been critical of Israel and of the United States has been the Prime Minister of Spain. And now we see the Supreme Court bringing him up on charges. So there is a global cabal class of individuals that are secretly trying to destabilize governments in order to profit from it. So I'm sorry that was my rant, but I wanted to make
No
sure that our
problem with
listeners
it.
had the proper background information. And we see them going from country to country.
And in the case of Tommy Robinson, he's basically the thug that they really focused or rather gravitate towards to do all the dirty work. Just picture a neo-Nazi thug that likes Israel, that
Yeah.
likes Jewish people.
These people are lackeys. Like it's
Yeah.
they're all on the take, right?
Yeah.
There's no ideological consistency because the only thing that they care about is the dollar, right?
Yeah.
It's grotesque. It's grotesque.
And his real name, by the way, for those who would rather use his real name is Stephen Christopher Yaxley Lennon. And he tried to keep that quiet for a long time, but of course he's been around for 20 years. It's coming out, and it came out pretty quickly. What he's known is he started the EDL, which is the English Defense League, and the EDL kind of like fizzled away. but he was the leader of that, and basically they just harassed Muslims and immigrants back in the early aughts and all of that, and or rather around 2010, I would say around that time. Um, he's been to jail a couple of times, and when I first heard of him, it was during the anti so-called ground zero mosque protests that they had. And Pam Geller was having an event where she invited him to the United States to be a part of all of that. They wouldn't let him in the country. Obama was president then. So uh so I don't think he's ever been in this country. I don't think he's ever been allowed
Good.
in. So I mean, but I can check that. We gotta check that. Um,
They
but
might
that's
sneak
how
him in with some South African refugees.
well, the funny thing about him is that he tried to come into the country with a fake passport, and I think that was his first arrest that I'm familiar with. But he tried to say that he was reformed at one time, and that didn't work, so he just went back to type. But he's been a piece of shit for a very long time, at least for about 20 25 years. So when you hear that name, either whether you're talking about Stephen Yaxley Lennon or Tommy Robinson, we're not talking about good people. We are not talking about good people. We're basically talking about people who want to burn everything down.
Yeah.
So, and that's important to remember when you're dealing with this. And when you also talking about, if we're going to talk about candidates that have Nazi tattoos, remember we are dealing with someone like Elon Musk um, pulling the strings and trying to get things to gel around all this chaos. Um, remember that during the inauguration, during an event, he Sieg Heiled everybody
Yeah.
twice, left the and a couple of days ago, couple of days after, he went to Germany to talk to their local Nazis and try to stir them up. And it's the same people that he saw that day was a part of that conference 2 weeks ago that Bavino went to that we had mentioned. And you can see a story about that on our website right now, on idavox right now. Um, and I think it's time to recognize what it is that we are dealing with, which actually brings me to the Carmelo Anthony story. There's a lot to talk about with that. Um, that he got railroaded. For those who don't, we'll get to what happened, but he did get railroaded, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. Um, so because NBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, all the outlets that talked at nauseum about the Penny or rather Daniel Penny story for like a year. For those who don't remember that story, that was he choked out and killed a homeless man by the name of Jordan Neely, and and became celebrated for that. He was celebrated for that. Even though Neely didn't really touch anybody. He was just yelling and screaming and hollering. And he choked him to death with a choke code that even the cops are not even allowed to use now. Um so they talked about that up to when he got acquitted for killing Neely. A couple of months later, April 2nd, my mother's birthday, there was a track meet in Frisco, Texas, and you could talk about whether or not Karmelo was supposed to be in his was in the wrong spot or whatever, but that's what started this altercation. There was two brothers. Austin. I believe they were twins too.
Yeah, they're twins.
Yeah, so we're talking about two brothers, and one of them, Austin, met Scott and Anthony. No, wait, let me get that straight. Let me get his brother's name straight.
There's Austin Metcalf
and his brother. Because no one really talked about his brother. Okay, so it was raining and all of that. We'll just
Hunter.
keep going.
It's Austin and Hunter. Austin and Hunter Metcalf, yeah.
How ironic. Hunter was a white power novel. So what happened was there was an argument because they said he didn't belong in that tent or anything like that. And it was getting a little aggressive to Karmelo. Karmelo basically told him to stay away from us, so you'll see what happens. And they responded not by going to get a adult to tell Karmelo to go into his own tent or whatever. Not doing that. They decided to put their hands on him. At least Austin did. And they were trying to rough him up. And he responded by defending himself with a knife on a knife that he had, and he stabbed out Austin in the heart. And he turned himself right away. I mean, he didn't want to kill him or anything like that. That's not what he was going there to do. But they decided, I guess Frisco has had other plans. They charged him with first degree murder. That's an overcharge as far as I'm concerned. And immediately, very immediately, the white supremacists got right on top of this thing and started spinning it in their direction. The first person out of the box that started turning it into a racial thing. I should say Karmelo Anthony is black. And Anthony, or not Anthony, but Austin Metcalf his brother is white. But the first person out of the gate was Matt Walsh.
Imagine you didn't know anything. Let's say you didn't know anything about this latest incident, and imagine that I told you that a young man stabbed another young man to death for telling him that he was in the wrong seat. And then I told you that one young man in the altercation was white and the other was black. And then I asked you to guess the race of the assailant. Without any more information, you would know the answer immediately, wouldn't you? Every single person in the country would know the answer immediately. Because young black males are violent to a wildly, outrageously disproportionate degree. That is a fact.
And then basically it just started coming out one after another. Jack Posobiec started coming up. Jack Lang held a rally at the school where I would say, I mean, it's sad too, because it's like Metcalf's father told Jake Lang to go to hell.
Jake? Hey, Jeff, it's Jake Lang here. Jeff, first of all, my entire heart rests in your hands. I would be in my position not even as somebody even knew your son, but somebody that it shares the same understanding. I grew up as a 17-year-old young white man too, and I grew up in fear of my life around black people because they were killing and robbing people around me all the time. And I don't understand, as I was a father, you could sit idly by and not condemn the culture that killed your son. There is an epidemic problem in this country, and your voice could be one of the loudest voices in this country, but you have chosen to recoil out of fear and continue the suppression. Why will you not?
You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk.
But my son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir.
Thanks.
You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
Here, you are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn.
Unfortunately, with him, now there's video of him talking just like Jack Lang now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, but that's another story for another time. So this has been going on for a better part of a year, and there was some arguments, discussions that people were having on TikTok, on other social media about this case. People had some really passionate positions about the case, and said, "Look, the Metcalfs should have kept their hands to themselves. Yes. Should he have had that knife? Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now. We are talking Texas, and if we're gonna, I find it really interesting how Karmelo is probably the only person in Texas that they say should not have been armed.
Yeah, Texas is a stand your ground state.
Yes,
Texas is a stand. Look, I'm going to jump in now. As a man of color, as a person of color, something about this isn't sitting right with me.
No,
right? I've heard reports that he had a white friend who called him over and told him to sit over there, and when it got heavy, they ditched him. I heard reports that somebody recorded the entire incident and then all of a sudden lost the film, right? But this is a stand your ground state. And if this would have been a white kid surrounded by 5 or 6 black kids telling him to get lost, we wouldn't be having this. And
that's what I told people.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but we are starting to see on social media a lot of black people saying, "Look, we've got oh my God, you just said the last case. It was Jordan Neely. Yeah, Jordan Neely. You got Jordan Neely on one hand, right? And then you have Karmelo Anthony on the other. And in neither case did a black person get justice. And I also saw that the jury deliberated less than 3 hours. And from what I understand, the jury didn't have any black people on it.
Right. I think they had some people in color. I think someone was Asian.
Yeah. I'm of the opinion that if you're on trial, there should be at least a representation of people that look like you. If a black person is being charged, you need black people on that jury. If an East Asian person is being charged, you need East Asians on that jury. In 2026, to have no black people on a jury where a young black man is being charged, that in itself is a crime, right? And this is where we're at. So and then I feel like there's a desire to have black people riot.
And I also, and then there's that. They've tried to say that if he did end up going to jail, if he was convicted, that black people will riot. They said the same thing with Trayvon, and it didn't happen. And it didn't happen in this case, but they still said that people were arguing, so they called that a riot.
There's this narrative that black people aren't I'm actually kind of tired of hearing it because you're black, Daryl, right?
Yeah.
I'm tired of this narrative that black people aren't out there marching, that they're not getting involved. They are. They are.
This is the problem. This is the problem that I've had in particular. I don't know. I think we should have probably should have been more involved. And I think we still
that's everybody
need to
though.
Be. Yeah.
I think that's everybody.
But
that doesn't just fall on black people, Daryl. That's Latinos too. There's more Latinos percentage in ICE than there are blacks. There's almost twice as many.
Yeah, that's disturbing.
Yeah, it's very disturbing. But yeah.
But the reason why I said that in this case is because I go back about to like 78. I mean, not 78, 2007, the Gina case, the Gina's Louisiana case, that people came out of nowhere to defend those boys who was being jammed up by the system there. And it stayed in the news, and people talked about they did analysis, they did commentary. People came involved, not just the protesters, to see what kind of ways that they can help the Gina Six. And cut to this. I mean, you were just talking about conspiracy theories. I have one about this one because I thought it was incredibly, and I said this early, just a couple minutes ago. I thought it was incredibly weird how NBC, ABC, MSNBC, all of these major outlets didn't talk about the case at all, but we were talking about it to death on social media. And
that's how they control the narrative.
Yes, and that makes me wonder, why were they complicit in that? Why? I keep bringing up Abby Phillips. I want to know why she didn't talk about it. Why nobody on that panel talked about it? And I think we need to basically force their hand if Karmelo was going to get out of prison before 35 years are up. I think we are selling ourselves short if we do not help this brother as much as he should have been before he got locked up. I think it's time for us to start recognizing that if we want things to change for us in this society, whether it is a society that's still the United States or not, we are going to have to step up a lot better than we have. And we do pretty well in the past, but why we didn't do it this time? You're talking about a kid that's never been in trouble, was a straight A student on his way to college.
Multiple character witnesses.
And then there's that.
Student.
I mean, it's frustrating again, and I think we're gonna. I mean, I wanted to stay on this story too. I did one story about him, but we're talking about it here, so I mean, I'm happy.
Talking about the jury, I was looking at the New York Times article. There were 3 Black women that were in the jury pool that were struck by prosecutors. So they ensured that there were no Black people on the jury.
Yeah, I mean that's something it's going to have to be addressed. Everything's going to.
I don't see any media asking the question: how does a kid who is a model student, a straight A student, elected captain, I think, of the track team, no record? You know, there's the how does this kid suddenly become a murderer? There's no record, and then Texas is, you were saying, a stand your ground law. He was touched. He said, "Don't touch me." I think it's pretty rare in Texas that someone would have a knife instead of a gun. I mean, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, there's a lot, and we got to start answering. We got to start getting answers. We really.
You're not going to get justice under this current administration.
But it's not. But this time,
it's not. Yeah, it's the entire system. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give it to Trump. Trump didn't have anything to do with this case this time, for once.
No, but this is the era of Trumpism, and he looms a long shadow. But you know what? You're absolutely right. Texas is crappy without Trump. Texas doesn't need Trump to be terrible. So yeah, you're absolutely
right. And
you
have a group called Protect White Americans that's
Jake Long.
Trump has created a country where we can have a group like Protect White Americans protest at a stadium.
I want to
the New York Times report on it with like it's the local Rotary Club or something.
Yeah, I mean, even the way, like the way the term white nationalism is used, that's not a thing. It's white supremacy. It's racism. White nationalism. So a nation centered around white people where you push out non-white people. Yeah, that's called white supremacy. Next, right?
Okay. All right, I should tell you, I mean, since you brought up his group, that's Jack Lang, I mean Jake Lang.
Yeah.
That's who was doing protect white Americans. Um, he needs to protect himself these days because this dipshit. Okay, so we have been very familiar with Jake Lang, especially over the past 6 months, simply because he's been going around the country with somebody's money, um, and starting making him a spectacle about him of himself, going after immigration, going after Somalians, going after Muslims in particular. Um, And last year, as I mentioned, he held a rally um, with his black friend that hasn't been seen lately. I'll need to find out what happened to Phil Anderson. Um,
Oh, he's got a lackey?
yeah, but we haven't seen him in months, so we got to find out what happened to him.
Maybe he sent him home.
Yeah.
The people who are at Karmelo Anthony's sentencing, they assaulted me just for holding a sign that said White Lives Matter. None of them were arrested. They made death threats. They said they were going to murder me and kill me and murder my family. None of them were arrested. Jake Lang was arrested before his feet even touched the Texas soil. As soon as he landed on the airport, before he could even get outside the airport, the police came and arrested him because he said words. We want to make a statement to let people know that yes, white lives do matter. You cannot lock up a white man and make it unaffordable for him to bail out and to seek counsel just because he's a white man and has an opinion.
So I'm thinking that so over the past couple of months, we've been getting to learn a little bit more about Jake. Remember, Jake was also a former J6er who got pardoned, and they didn't really care too much for him either. But here he is doing his thing, and over the past couple of weeks, he's been getting jammed up. He went to the first thing he happened is that he got arrested while defending Chud the Builder, who, for those who don't know, has been going around Nashville calling black people the N-word, expecting a response so he can pepper spray them, and then but he ended up shooting and this is Chud the Builder. He shot somebody, and now he's sitting in jail right now on a $1 million bond, attempted murder. So Jake Lang tries to give support and said something stupid in the courtroom, and the judge hit him with contempt. He gets out and just starts going around the country again doing whatever, and he gets popped in Frisco, Tennessee. I mean Texas. He went back to the Karmelo's case, and he first gets popped. I think they had a warrant out for him before, so they zapped him on that. 2 days later, he's getting into it with a group of black men and women, and he says that, I mean, he was saying a lot of crap to everybody, but when he said if they don't return a guilty verdict, I will kill him myself, or something to that effect. And that was the last straw. He's in jail right now himself, also just like the Chud the Builder, on $1 million bond. So we probably won't see him for a while. No more stunts on his part.
I hope not.
Yeah,
these people
at
raise
least not
money
for a while.
I mean, I'll say these people, whether it's the Russian government, whether it's Elon Musk, these people always seem to have money because these are the agents of the Epstein class, right? When you ask yourself, how can some of these people be white supremacists but also Zionists? It's because they're following the money, right? These are agents of capital. These are agents of the capitalist class. And they only exist to confuse the working class, to turn black people against white people, and to take crappy situations in this country and just make them worse.
And this is what we was talking about with the immigration case. I mean, he was also in Jake Lang was over at Delaney Hall on the top of a U-Haul with burning a pride flag.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, there's
Oh,
never
you
enough
know
seems
who
to be
else?
enough rotten tomatoes to throw at people like that.
By the way, let's say something positive about Delaney. Do you know who was there
I do.
this week? And they're hating on her for this. Miss Rachel, who
yes.
she is for those. Do you want to explain who Miss Rachel was? Because I first started to know her with her hanging out with Madami.
Yeah, Miss Rachel has she's a YouTuber, or started out as a YouTuber, and I guess that's still her main thing. Made videos for kids to help them learn language, sing sweet little songs, just really cool kids YouTube videos. But has also, it's for all kids. I mean, Miss Rachel, there's so much, things that are directed for kids, and it's for kids who are safe and privileged and can sit in front of YouTube and watch videos. But Miss Rachel, I think she's gone to Gaza, performed with children in Gaza, helped bring children who were injured to get medical care. And then she was at Delaney singing songs with the children of people who were inside Delaney Hall, who had been kidnapped and held there by the United States government. So
yeah. She's almost like this generation's Mr. Rogers in a way.
Yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah. Immediately I was thinking those parallels is right there. And it just tells everybody, reminds everybody that this is still going on in Delaney. I believe that I got to find out the situation with the hunger strike. I don't know whether or not that's still going on, but people are still coming out. It is still going.
Yeah.
Okay, and people are out there. People are out there. I haven't been able to go this week because I have been all over the place. Plus, health wise, they pulled a stunt and I think I brought it up last week. They're keeping all the as I said last week, you was able to drive down to straight, be right and cross the street from the whatchamacallit, from the prison. They won't let you do that anymore. You now have to walk about half a mile, and it's no secret that that's a problem for me. For those who don't follow me on Facebook, I used to do something about 4 years ago called walk and talks. And basically,
I missed the walk and talks. They were fun.
I want to go back to them so bad, but
summer's here. You got to go back to the walk and talks.
I will try. The reason why a lot of folks don't know about them is because I keep it private, for friends only and everything. But because there were times when my camera would show up. I mean, rather my car would show up in the shots and all of that, and it basically tells everybody who I don't want to know where I'm at on any particular time. But yeah, I honestly, I have to admit that yes, I miss them too. I'm taking some I'm doing physical therapy now, so maybe I'll just start really force myself to do some. Jenny would definitely want me to, so yeah, I don't know who Jenny is, but she's and I brought her up for the second time on this show. But yeah, I'll get back to it. I'll try to go back to it. But but not after but it have to be after Punksylvania.
Definitely.
Yes. And for those that don't know what that is, that's the show coming up on oh no, I gotta bring up the other show that's coming up. But from the 19th to the 21st is going to be a conference, or not a conference, a concert in Gilbert, Pennsylvania. It's actually the organizers, or rather the promoters, are all women, and they wanted to put the space out for everybody. I mean, it's for a number of different bands still performing, and there's the 1876, there's the Virus, there's friends of mine, the hat. No, Daryl, you're getting this word right. Hub City Stompers, which was a part of it, which was also a name of a crew back in the day that we were that I was a part of back in New Brunswick. New Brunswick's the hub city. Um, there's oh yeah, and Body Count is performing. It's Bad Cop is playing as well. And I mean, there's going to be a lot of good bands there. And One People's Project / idavox will be there as well. 2 years ago, we were there, and with a booth and everything, and we're going to be there again this year. Um, we're going to Camp Punksylvania, as I should say. That's the full name. So hopefully y'all can we can see y'all there. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it. Um, just go to Camp Pennsylvania .com and to find out how to get tickets yourself. And trust me when I say it will be worth it. So what won't be worth it is a white power neo-Nazi conference. I mean, a concert in a town that I used to live in, in Garfield, New Jersey. I'm just finding out about the dates and where it's going to be. Um, I just found out yesterday, but very familiar with the whatchamacallit, the promoters there. It is a guy by the name of Powell, and the name of the event is called Vengeance Fest, Vengeance Fest, and this is a show that they tried to have. Well, they did have it at a club nearby called Dingbats. We made a lot of noise about it. Um, they said that they would kick off the Nazi bands off their bill, and they didn't. So everybody got furious. Not just at Powell and his production company, but also against Dingbats. Dingbats now has a stigma on it, but people still go, and I don't think it's unfair to have to
I've
stigma.
never been to a show at Dingbats, and I've been going to shows in Jersey for 26 years now.
Yeah, I've been to
And when
one.
I found that out, I told myself I would never go back there. And
Yeah,
I was lucky because it was always a little bit out of the way for me, so I didn't have to worry about that. But now, screw it, I will never go to freaking Dingbats.
yeah, but now they're going to this. Now this is interesting. For the past couple of years, this particular Vengeance Fest, this event, um, did what all Nazi shows. He's considered a Nazi promoter. He's considered a Nazi, and the music in particular is black metal. Black metal. You know, the bands have that have logos that you can't read.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's not even good metal. It's shitty metal.
and as a Bogarath was good. Um,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I take back that. Not all black metal bands are bad. Just the shitty Nazi ones.
but in any case, so there's going to be a lot of when if you ever hear us talking about NSBM, that's National Socialist Black Metal. Um, and they have so they've been basically doing this for a couple of years. We caught them at Dingbats, and they started doing things that Nazi bands do. I mean, Nazi promoters do. They tell you to come to one location, and they'll tell you from there where the event is. And for the past couple of years, it was at this somewhere in the woods, somewhere. We never did find out where it was. Now they're announcing that it's going to be at this club this Polish club in Garfield. And I don't have the name for it. I mean, everything's going off the top of my head right now. Um, but this is going to be happening, by the way, I should say. It's going to be on the 26th and 27th, around that time. And it's going to be in Garfield. So it's time for Garfield, New Jersey. So basically, people are just finding about it now. I'm just finding out about it. I mean, we knew 2 years ago because they was planning it then, that this is going to be happening.
And
We
we
just
did
didn't.
cover it on our social media. We did talk about this.
Yeah, we did, and we didn't have a date, and we didn't have a location. We didn't have the bands. Um, I do know, just a cursory look at it. At the lineup, I do see one Nazi band that I know, and that's called a group called Grom. But if I dug a little bit more, a matter of fact, I probably won't even have to dig too much before I find some more. So so that's what we're dealing with. We'll have more information on idavox in the next couple of days. Don't know if there's anybody going to go oppose it or rally against it or whatever. We'll see if that transpires, but you know, it depends on how people feel. But the one thing that we want to definitely make sure is that you know that this thing is happening. A Nazi rally, a Nazi conference. Damn, I keep saying conference, concert.
Same thing.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a place where they can all get together.
Yeah, for them, it's all this. They're going to get together, they're going to network, spread bad ideas, listen to crappy music, and try to terrorize communities of good people. That's what this is, and we can't let it happen.
Yeah, so basically I'm going to be putting the information out there, and we'll see what it is that people want to do, if they want to do anything. But at least y'all know that it's happening. Interesting thing, how this is down the road from a place where the National Alliance used to have their conferences from time to time. And that building that they used to be in, the little clubhouse in um Elmwood Park, is now a mosque.
Good.
So 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 we can
Inshallah, they'll all go away. Inshallah, all the white supremacists will go away.
That's why they're afraid of them. Oh man, but yeah, I wanted to let people know about that coming up, and we'll give you more information as we come along. So it's raining right now. By the way, for everybody, it's Thursday that we're recording this. And and I should say that I want to thank people who are throwing us money. I mean, it's trickling in. I mean, it's like, but it's good to see every now and again that people are hooking us up. If everybody remembers,
George Soros, if you're out there, please send us some money.
Yes,
George Soros, please send us some money. Please send us some money.
I've never gotten my George Soros checks.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting on it.
Everything, not a dime.
You know, there was actually he was looking at us. His crew was actually looking at us once, years ago. But
were they looking in disgust?
Apparently now they do, because one of the things that reason why we didn't get a Soros check, and was because they wasn't sure that we will be all in for all Democratic candidates and all.
No, we don't support corporate centrist globalization either. So
no.
Sorry, George.
Yeah.
But if you could see past that, send us the check, bro.
However, we do know people that have money that are on the up and up, and we want to invite them to donate. We have a GoFundMe up. That's going to be a permanent one, by the way. You can I have the the matter of fact, I'm going to have the QR code up and the whatchamacallit, the URL for it. Because it's dedicated to the Sullivans, Laura and Kent and Mike Sullivan, who we have lost lately. I mean, yes, I'm still feeling it because I haven't been able to talk to Laura for a month now. So we're always talking, and it's like the only reason why we don't talk for this long is because she's mad at me for something. But but that's not the case now. Um anyway, I can't talk about them without choking up. I can't. It's not going away. It's really not. Um But any case, we do have a GoFundMe that's in their names, Mike and Laura. So just look for that. Like I said, the QR code and the URL is here. But we also have onepeoplesproject dot donate, and we know a lot of people have been going in that direction as well. Much love again to Kathy Griffin, because she really is helping us out with that. I'll see her on Monday. So because she's coming into town. She has an event that I'm going to be going to. Um and we need your money. We want to build beyond what we're doing now. I mean, we want to do that some community center and everything. So let's see what we can do. Plus, we can use some money for the trip to whatchamacallit, to Punksylvania. We're maybe rent a truck or something like that so we can shoot all of our gear and stuff over there. But we'll manage if we can't get money for that yet. But in any case, everybody, that's not the only place you can support us. As you know, that we're on Patreon, and we're on Substack, and that's where we're monetized. Monetized. Oh, Beth, this is where you come in and start talking, because I can't.
So yeah, we do want your support in the fight against fascism. One People's Project has been fighting fascists for a quarter of a century now, doing that with education, information, and it costs money because unfortunately that's the world we live in. All of our content, podcasts, articles, nothing's behind a paywall. If you can't pay, the information's still there for you. We are anti-capitalist, and we believe that information and education are the way we're going to get to the other side of this. But if you can afford to pay, it's one of the ways to be an anti-fascist, is to support anti-fascist work. You can be a paid subscriber on Substack. You can be a Patreon. You can make a donation. So if you're able to do that, it helps One People's Project and idavox and Antifascism O.G. continue to do the work that has been going on for more than 25 years.
And our birthday is coming up, and you're going to love the day. July the 4th. That's when we got started. So if you don't feel like celebrating the 250th birthday of America, you can, if you don't want to celebrate the birthday of the USA, you can celebrate the 26th of OPP. I couldn't get the words out, but the sentiment is there.
And on that note, too, one last thing before we go is Juneteenth will happen before our next episode, and
yes,
it's important, for us to remember that Trump is doing everything, and the regime is doing everything in their power to cancel Juneteenth, Black History. One of the things that happened last year, national parks on federal holidays, there's free admission at the national parks. Trump canceled free admission dates for Juneteenth and Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and added his birthday as a free admission day. So one of the things I did with my students today is I challenged them. I said, we're going to have a Juneteenth challenge. If you want to observe Juneteenth, this is the way we can do it and make it meaningful. Teach Black history. Whatever part of, there's so much history. Black history is American history. Teach somebody some part of that history. It might be a conversation with a child or a neighbor. You don't have to gather a classroom and give a lecture, but the people will have to keep the history alive in this time as websites are being taken down and history is being erased. So I would challenge everybody to teach some part of Black history on this day this year.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. And that's not a problem for me. We're going to be at Punksylvania on during Juneteenth, but probably see pieces of that on when you see the next show. But I'm looking forward to actually on Saturday here in my hometown. The Juneteenth events are going to be happening. So I'll be participating in that in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I'll be doing some work to get ready for Punksylvania on Saturday. So this is going to be a full weekend for me.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody for enjoying us and spending time with us, and hope to see you next week. We don't know what we're talking about yet, but we will by then, because Lord knows there's a lot to talk about. Find out exactly what's going to go on with everything that we were talking about today, because that's everything that we talked about today is ongoing. So there's going to be new information. So we'll keep you abreast on everything that we find out. So. But in any case, I want to say goodbye to everybody, and thank you for being here today. And Beth and Christian, thank you for holding it down with me.
Anytime.
All right. Take care, y'all. We'll see you next week.